talking of the attack then, I suppose it feels like at the moment it's one of Joao Pedro or Liam Delap, because obviously Joao Pedro, whenever we've seen it, it's just Joao Pedro coming off and Liam Delap coming on. I just felt Joao Pedro, Jace, just didn't have any service on Sunday. I just felt there was nothing, and not even a little half chance. And he was sort of moving along the line, sort of dropping deep to try and pick up the ball. But I don't really think there's anything else he could have done, because it was so difficult to play through the lines, and the wingers weren't just...
Well, ultimately, 3 were marking 1.
Yeah.
You know, and that's tough. And that's the point that we just talked about trying to disrupt that. It was a bit too easy. I think if you were to interview Carl Richards and Gehi, I think they'd say, actually, that was a lovely afternoon's work for us. You know, we saw most of the game in front of us. We weren't really disrupted. I've got 2 wing backs out there that are playing as full-backs. We're a 5. We didn't really hurt them and learn from that, I think.
So do you think then, Alex, it will be one of Joao Pedro and Liam Delap? Like I just said there, it feels like it at the moment. But Joao Pedro is the sort of player that, you know, he can play as a number 10. He can sort of play anywhere across that sort of front period, that front line. Yeah. Do you think there might be a time where we see them both together?
I think definitely at the end of games. I know this time it was like for like. I know, obviously, Delap came in for Joao Pedro. Yeah. But I definitely think at the end of games, we'll probably see them play more together initially. I think the transfer market, what we do or don't do, is going to dictate how often we see them start together. If for some reason we don't acquire another player like a Xavi Simons who can play in the 10 position, maybe Joao Pedro will some games start in the 10, Palmer maybe starts on the right. We saw none of Palmer on the right last season, but we did at the Club World Cup. So maybe it's something that Maresca's just been waiting for. He's just waiting for the right personnel to kick Cole over to the right. You're right. I mean, Joao Pedro at Brighton, he didn't play too much on the left. That was more at Watford. But at Brighton, he played just anywhere in the central area, sometimes as a striker, but oftentimes behind the striker or even to the left of the striker. So I do think we'll see them coexist. I mean, they're both players who, they have differences, but one of their similarities, and it's a good thing, is they make great runs. They move for the ball. So I don't see why they can't play together. Joao Pedro, the one thing I really did not give him credit for, when we were linked to him, I admittedly was maybe not as gung-ho as I should have been at the time. I was like, 60 mil on Joao Pedro.
I think everyone felt the same, though, didn't they? But
I knew he was a good player. I did also try and calm down, like some of Twitter saying you're doing too much, you're being too critical of him. But at the same time, I was like, it's a lot. It's a lot of beans for, Joao Pedro. Yeah. But what I didn't give him credit for is he created a lot at Brighton. Like, he actually was probably just as good of a passer as he was a finisher at Brighton. So, yeah, he could feed Liam Delap. But definitely at the end of games, I think we'll see them start playing together.
I think the Liam Delap thing's interesting because I've really liked what I've seen from Liam Delap so far. I think he's a brilliant striker and he's got so much potential. Obviously, when he played for Ipswich very rarely had the ball, right? And they would sit in 2 banks of 4, be defending for most of the game. And Liam Delap was so brilliant at holding the ball up. He did it against us twice. The one at Portman Road was a brilliant performance, but so good on the counter-attack and bringing people into play. My only worry is, Jace, is that Chelsea don't often get the chance to play like that. Chelsea, we got to play like that against PSG, and I think maybe had he have been on the pitch instead of Joao Pedro, he might have scored a couple, or maybe one. But that's my only worry, is that a lot of teams are going to come to Stamford Bridge, admittedly maybe not as good as Palace, but are going to sit in 2 banks of 4 or a 5 and a 4 and go, right, you break us down. Do you think he's suited to that style of play?
I think what Palace did well as well, they denied the space in behind. So you think about what Delap likes to do in Jabba. They like to run in behind, don't they? Yeah. I mean, even if Jackson was playing, he liked to try and get in. They denied that space. A lot of the goals, if you look back at Delap's goals in Ipswich, a lot of them, he kind of half created himself.
Yeah.
He wasn't relying on the crosses that come in. So there might be moments in the game where he has to do something a little bit different. Use that physical presence. Use that ability to knock players out the way. Also, when he does come on, what are his strengths, right? He's a big physical boy.
He's a handful.
Right, OK. You saw what Sunderland did, right, against West Ham. What happened? Their goals. Balls in the box.
Yeah.
Right?
Aerial presence.
So who have we got on Friday?
West Ham.
Right. So look at that.
We're not going to put a single cross into the box, by the way.
But look at that. Look at how they conceded goals. Look at the physicality. Look at how they go. Come on. I think I agree with that. I think you both said start with Joao Pedro. But I would, if we get to half an hour to the game from the end of the game, do something different. Put balls in the box. Be brave. Because they struggled, West Ham, with those balls in the box.
They absolutely did. But then does that not make you think that maybe putting balls in the box and having aerial presence... I mean, Liam Delap is a very physical... I mean, to be honest, Joao Pedro's got that, nasty streak in him and likes to be a bit physical as well. But Do you think there are? I mean, is West Ham away a good example that maybe Liam Delap is a better fit up front?
Sorry, cutting right. Joao Pedro's good in the air, by the way.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah.
So
they're both
I'm
physical
just
as
saying,
well.
not just got to do that because of Delap. I'm saying, can it be a tactic that we utilise in the game as per se?
Yeah. Maybe not West Ham away then. Maybe we do go with Joao Pedro, because I think we probably should go with Joao Pedro for that game. But do you think there are going to be games in the Premier League this season that maybe Liam Delap is more suited to playing?
Yeah, but I don't even know if it'll be fully tactical, because as we've highlighted, they do have many similarities. I think the interesting part here for Maresca is, how can I make this a really competitive and healthy competition between the two, right? And he's a decent manager, I would say. After one season, I do think he manages personalities well. He's quite good with young players. He knows Liam Delap, obviously, from the City days. Yeah. He quite likes Joao Pedro already. So I think some of it is you probably could come up with, a reason why he should start Pedro or Delap. I think much of it is going to be, unless the other guy is just scoring just an abundance of goals, and you go with that guy, right? I think sometimes it's going to be, well, I'm going to give him a little bit of a rest, and I want to put Liam in because Liam hasn't seen a start in a few games. I don't want him to be completely out of it. Because if you can have two strikers that are both high confidence, I mean, it's much easier said than done, right? But, we don't know who our clear number one is right now. And if anything, maybe, that can be a good thing for a little while. Sooner or later, you want the guy, but, Delap's a hungry boy too, right? I think, I'm not saying he's got Cole Palmer level of confidence, but I do feel like he's one of those just players who's like a dog on a leash, and you just put him out there, even if he missed a few big chances, just give him another chance. So, yeah, I think Maresca will start him plenty. I mean, they got history together. Manchester City Academy, Joe Shields, big fan of Delap. Cole Palmer, big fan of Delap. And we saw before Joao Pedro came in the Club World Cup, Cole Palmer was seeing Delap's runs and everything. So I think there's a chance here it can be a really healthy back and forth. That doesn't work for years, right? You can't have that for years, but for a season?
Also, we've got so many games.
You took the words right.
Sorry, Liv. Sorry.
No, you say.
We'll cut this bit out. But you think about, the group stage. We don't know who we're going to play yet, but there will be some games in that group stage where we're expected to win. And whoever might not be playing at that time, what a great opportunity to give them. Minutes, can you go and score? Carabao Cup. FA Cup's not till January, so forget that for the sake of the conversation for right now. But same rules apply. And there will be moments in this season where you lean on the squad. Last year, we hardly had that. We had Jackson. Then
that was it.
That was it. But then we got to the Conference League, you could play Mark Gay. Yeah. Why? Because the competition was so poor. Yeah. That increased competition, but there will be group games, Liv, where we should win, and we should win comfortably, and that's where Delap might get more minutes building into this. We're very lucky at both.
Yeah, what I would say is that those group games won't matter because, according to Jamie Carragher, we're not going to get out the groups of the Champions League, so it doesn't matter who we play, does it?
Play Shin Maheka.